Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unboxed. We're going to continue building the Black family, and today we're going to unbox Black family communication. You don't want to miss it. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unboxed. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Davis. So glad that you have chosen to be with us. Before we get started, do me a quick favor. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. That's right, like, subscribe, and share. And look in our description for ways that you can support or partner with Unboxed. Most of all, visit our website. By the way, if you have a question that you would like for us to read and to discuss on air, please make sure that you email us your question so that we can read them. We have been, for the last several nights, talking about the African-American family. And we talked about how important it is to understand your family history, to know your family tree in order to really build up your family. Today, I'm going to go into what I consider to be one of my areas that I really love, talking about family communication. And by the way, this focus on the Black family was started because of the book that I wrote most recently called Season with Grace, God's Recipe for Healthy Family Communication. You can get a copy of this book at Amazon, both in print as well as in digital. You can get it in the digital format at Google Books as well as at Apple Books. All right, so today we're going to dive into building up the Black family. We're going to talk specifically about Black family communication. There are 4 things about African-American communication. And again, if you want to know how to improve your family's communication, make sure that you grab a copy of it. We'll put that graphic up on the screen, Bob, and make sure that you grab a copy of the book, Season with Grace, God's little bit when we're on back. I want to talk a little bit about the 4 aspects of African-American family communication that is really important for us to understand. First, and this, by the way, comes from my doctoral dissertation. Some people, and by some people, I mean myself when I'm deluded, have told me that this is the greatest dissertation that's ever been written in the history of mankind. Thank you. But in this dissertation that I wrote, I looked at the African-American family communication. That's what we talked about, building it as one of the ways to improve all aspects of family life is really focusing on the Black family communication. There are 4 things, and I'm gonna go through them very quickly, that I want you to understand about the Black family, about Black communication style. And then I'm going to tie it all in together. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit more about African-American communication as well. But there are 4 things that I really want to share with you. And I want you to think about this. First, in 2005, there was a research done that shows African-Americans pay more attention to body language, facial expression as it relates to decoding communication. That's just something that was passed down to us from our African heritage, which is to pay close attention to body language and facial expression in decoding communication. The second thing I want you to know about African-American communication. So again, number 1 is we really pay attention. We as a people typically pay more attention to body language and facial expression. The second thing that's important to understand, and this was a research that was done in 2012, it's that African Americans, especially African American men, are more likely to work as a team in problem solving. They value team in problem solving. African Americans are more apt, again, to value team in the problem solving process and even in the conflict resolution process. So that's something else I really want you to think about as it relates to African American communication. The third thing I want to put out there relative to African-American communication is that in 2009, research was done that indicated African-Americans are generally more optimistic, just in total, are more optimistic than their European-American counterparts. And I guess that kind of just shows, when you go from slavery to being, Secretary of State etc. You can't help but to be an optimistic people. It's just part of who we are. It's a part of our makeup. We're just naturally more optimistic than other ethnic groups. The fourth thing, and again, I'm just telling you this about how African Americans communicate. The fourth thing is that research that was done in 1981, was done again in 2003, and then done again in 2009, demonstrate that African American families employ a higher expressive style of communication in conflict management and resolution. And I'm going to give you a few things that it includes. It includes frequent interruptions and intense affect. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Research shows that during times when African Americans are engaging in communication for conflict resolution, we tend to speak faster, use more words, interrupt each other more often, and are more intense in speech, and are more assertive and self-confident in our speech than other racial and ethnic groups. I'm going to go over those again. In conflict resolution, research has shown that African Americans speak faster, use more words, interrupt each other more often, and are more intense in speech and speak more assertively or self-confidently than other racial and ethnic groups. So generally speaking, other ethnic groups will view African Americans, especially during times of family conflict resolution, as being more angry or intense. And there is a reason. Because of the way that we communicate, we're oftentimes viewed as being more angry, more intense, more hostile than other ethnic groups. And I know there's a whole heap of historical realities and prejudices and misinformation about the African American race that also plays into a lot of these things. But our communication style is different. And notice I said our communication style is different. I never said it's wrong. So as we talk about understanding the African American family, one of the things that we need to understand is the fact that we do communicate different than other people. And I'm going to share a few quick things with you. And you know what? There's a few key takeaways, but our time is running out, so I'm going to close it out here. Tomorrow I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about some of the key takeaways on Wednesday, and then I'll give you some additional stuff about communication on Thursday. But let me just end with this tonight. It's really awesome to just observe. And the next time you get a chance and you're seeing two African Americans communicate, especially if you get a chance to kind of observe what's going on during conflict resolution, just pay attention to it. Just kind of pick up. I shared some things with it with you tonight, rather. But the next time I want you just to kind of observe and pay attention and observe. The reason I say that is because I want you to observe the beauty that is African American communication. One of the things that research also brings out is about how African Americans are more apt to bring in humor in order to diffuse tense situations. We're not talking about communication experts and scholars. That's just a natural part of who we are. We typically bring in humor to diffuse tense situations. It's just a part of our communication. And next time, I just want you to observe. Next time you get a chance, just observe, because I want you to appreciate. I want you to appreciate the beauty, the genius that has been handed down to us from our forefathers, going all the way back to the griots of Africa. That is the African American communication style. We're going to pick up on here tomorrow, and I'm going to share some more information with you. I thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and let's continue to unbox the power and the potential of all families, especially the African American family. Until next time, I'll see you later.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.